What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Soul of a Man 504, aka the man that was coming at you live with another video. Of course, you'll know me as an author, a spiritual life coach, a traveler, a creative writer, and a speaker, and all of that good stuff in between. But today I'm going to be talking about, and I'm also representing Soul of a Man 504.com. Don't forget to get your books. But today I'm talking about why I left the church, and just really talk about spiritual journey. So go ahead and without further ado, goes low something like this. Let's go and hit it. So why I left the church was because I wasn't getting that fulfillment. I was seeing the same people, doing the same things. It was the same songs, um, you know, and it was always hard in church, just to have this one-on-one relationship, personal relationship with God, and I was just seeing like this just stagnant, and it's like I'm not, I don't know. It's like certain churches they invite these big singers, and so like, well, I'm not a singer, although I can write music, but I think it gets to a point where you can only go so high. It's like even though the church talks about having a little bit of afterlife, they don't go into everything, but I think there was a for me that was a glass ceiling, and once I hit that glass ceiling, and just to go back, I remember 2002. I was at this certain church in New Orleans, Louisiana. So I approached this guy. I think he was with his wife at the time. I think he was a barber. But anyway, so I told him, hey man, I think he was on a play or something. And I was telling him, back then, I was a writer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, cool, man," and blah blah blah. He just kind of dismissed me. It's like who's this guy? Blah blah blah. But so yeah. But anyway, so he just kind of dismissed me. He got my name. He was like, "All right, Devin." It's like I said, no, my name's Demond. So just to say that, you know, even then I knew like I went to church because I saw my grandmother go to church, and my mother, my father, and my aunts, and so they all went to church. So and they were, prayer was a big thing, and I'm always down for prayer. I'm always down, talking to God and my angel guides and all of that good stuff, and I have no problems with that. It was just the fact of having this glass ceiling because I wasn't seeing the church. It wasn't impacted my life. Like, I go and hear a good message, but I remember one time in a church, the preacher was like, "Oh, this place isn't a place for networking and building yourself up, and you got to go and fill out application." I'm like, "Well, this is the perfect place because what if that hiring manager was in the church? Why not set up a networking night? For the members or for those, or career night, bring some people who are hiring, So I never saw that. I always saw, and I'm just talking about this one particular church, they'd pick up three, four offerings, and the child's having a birthday, the so-called wife is having a birthday. You find out the preacher is cheating on her, and he's got mistresses in the church, and people are whispering, and so it just started turning into a circus, so and I missed like when I was at my other home church. I kind of missed that home like feeling. Just being around my family and stuff like that. And there's no way, there's no way like if I stayed in the church, and I still don't mind going to church. The church I feel like is still good for certain things. Be it if you're Catholic or Baptist, or whatever you're doing. But I still feel like you can. I feel like you can learn from a religion, but I feel like the religion is structured and in a sense, and it's like you got to do this, and it's the same thing every day. And I think with the spiritual path, it's it's more abundant. You can learn more. You can implement more things into your into your life, into your existence, and I feel like your mind is more open. To learning, to knowledge. Yes, there's still rules that you have to follow. You can't necessarily go. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but going on a spiritual path, it's supposed to be about, enlightenment. Teaching, growing, just becoming an all around better person instead of walking, just walking this dark path, and but to each their own. But but to me, the church just wasn't. I didn't see where it was telling me to become an entrepreneur or become a writer. It was. I remember, they would give money to people going to college, but even once you're finished college, it's like, you still have debt, in a sense. So I didn't see, and the church was supposed to be the backbone of the community, and he said, well, you can't put it on. I mean, the church was there for the civil rights movement. I mean, why isn't it there now? To help to really uplift us and give us the resources that we need, and it's just a lot of things. I mean, it's just so much. So it's like I think you can learn more by studying the Bible on your own, because I feel like, and I do believe that it all happens for a reason. And, maybe going to a certain church on a certain day, you can't get a certain message that'll help you out in your life. But for me personally, I just, it's just not what's for me. I feel like, if I cannot go to the church and use the gifts that I have, then, it's like you see the preacher selling millions of books. Well, hey, I'm a writer. Why can't I put my books in the, in the bookstore here? Whatever, whatever. I write kids books that are very friendly and uplifting, and all of that good stuff. But I just don't see, and I just didn't feel. I think the biggest thing was just not feeling at home there. Just not feeling like this is helping me out with my path. So it was just time to go. And once I did, I think the last church home I had was in Beaumont, and that was like 2012, like 2011, 12, and after that, that was it. And I've never, I've visited churches, of course, but I've never, I've never joined another church, since then. And I mean, I feel like I am growing even more. And I'm not here to talk anybody out of leaving the church. If you are getting spiritually fed and you're growing and you feel like you're being ministered to, and whatever your path is in this life, the church is connected with that. And you're really not just growing in the church, but you're growing outside of the church too. It's one thing to have a church grow its members, but also to have its people grow in value also. And that's another thing I just didn't see. I saw, certain people driving these nice cars and everybody else catching a bus. And again, they were talking about, well, but this ain't no place to come and job hunt and blah blah blah. And the man, the preacher was asking for, well, he said, hey, this guy in California has a jet. Well, I need a jet too, and in God's word, and blah blah blah. I said, but that jet don't have nothing to do with God's word. But anyway, it's just, it just gets to the point where I think, like if I would have seen, my parents really just do these great, and I mean, and I've seen them work hard, and do the basic things, get a house and cars. And but if I would have seen them, like, yeah, grow businesses and travel, and just like really explode with their talents, that means I'd still be in the church today. I'll be following their path, but it's just not like that. So I think even for the younger generation, they're at that point where they're looking for something different. They're looking for more knowledge. They're looking for somewhere that they can be more fulfilled and that they can be more spiritually fed. And that's why they're looking more into the old ways, the ATRs, and African traditional religions, and so on. And so on and so forth. But there's just so much. There's just really so much out there to learn, spiritually, divinely. You know that can really help you in your path, your friends, and all of that good stuff. So, but yeah, so that's just a little bit of why I left the church, and I'll probably talk more. Um, add more stories to this and all of that good stuff. But this is your boy, Soul of a Man 504, representing Soul of a Man 504.com, aka Devon Alvarez. And if you guys want to book your readings with me, all my information will be right down below. But don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and all that good stuff. But as always, I'm out this peace, folks. Peace.